Hello. Someone's invented a machine that slows time. What the hell is this all about? Well, the boffins in the Far East, if you're still allowed to call it that, it's very far away from me. They've invented this thing. Legitimately, China record-breaking hypergravity machine compresses space-time from centuries to days, which is fantastic news, of course, if you're a GME investor, because Ryan wants people to think super long-term in decades or centuries, right? Which is perfect then, because this centrifuge uses a vacuum-based temperature control system for heat dissipation. Presumably that's exactly what he's looking for. That's not clunky branding from Ryan. This is him calling the future, and he knew what they were going to invent before they even knew how to invent it. China has broken its own record in hypergravity research, completing the construction of, yeah, sure, they did it quicker than anyone thought they could, but they've got a time machine. So of course they're going to invent a time machine quicker than anyone else, because they're just going to go back and give themselves the secrets, aren't they? This is what it's like. China, that machine, it looks like something off Star Wars. But that actually happening right now. So there you have it. Now you were dreaming. If you're invested in GameStop, you were dreaming of a place where centuries could unfold in days. Not through science fiction, but through pure engineering force. And in Eastern China, scientists have just built that brilliant hypergravity thingamabob. It's a colossal centrifuge, as you can, you can kind of make out. Those things on the side aren't feet. They spin like GME investors around until such times as invisible patterns, only hidden because they were so slow, become visible, right? Which is amazing, because they'll be able to trade those patterns as opposed to the real ones on the chart that make a difference. So, this machine, which will simulate the slow, will actually make the normal fast, right? And time's relative, so you'll be flying, and we could all do with a little bit of that in our lives, couldn't we? Instead of waiting for things to occur naturally. Super boring, right? And boring equals torture to today's generation. So no one wants to be tortured. So thank goodness the Chinese are coming up. That's strike one for the human rights out of the Far East. Excellent. So there you go. A new time-lapse camera for actual time. Fantastic. Other news, interesting, the debate about whether the NHS should use magic mushrooms to treat depression. You'd think I'd be on this based on the news I've been reading recently. Anyway, this person and a couple of other people believe that the psilocybin, pardon me, the active ingredient in those disgusting mushrooms could actually be good for you. Who'd have thunk it, right? So take some of them, then slap you in one of these, and I'll tell you what, you'd be worse off than these guys. Sailors saved from going over the edge on a huge dam. Let's check them out. They're not really going over the edge. Jeepers creepers, they're right next to it. That's a massive dip. Look at that. We'll have a wee look. Ooh, horrible, isn't it? Oh, jeepers creepers. But they're obviously not real sailors, which also reminds me of MicroStrategy. Anyway, look at that. Pretty dangerous. Right at the very edge. I don't think I want to be going over there, mate. Can't park there, mate. You can't park there, mate. Anywho, that doesn't look too fancy. More news, because that's not everything. We've got more news, right? Look at this. A UK company sends a factory into space with a 1,000-degree furnace in it. This thing can do all sorts of thingamabobs. Sounds like science fiction, but that's 2026 now. It's 2026, so you've got to get with the times. Progress, right? This factory, located hundreds of kilometers above Earth, is churning out high quality materials, which they can make semiconductors with, right? And we're all like worried about Taiwan because it's between us and China, and they're like getting bigger. You saw yourself, they invented the time machine. But what we do? Well, we'll just solve all of our problems by sending it up into space. Right, brilliant. I thought we should have done that with the rubbish ages ago. Anyway, you'll have noticed that if you follow me on the internet. I found a sword and there's a hand on it. Look at this news story. It's amazing. This dude, some metal detectorist dream of making the find that changes history. Well, you're doing that right now. And I'll show it to you in a minute. A 90-year-old dude from Derby has just done that. Again, he's done it before as well. Like, he's discovered all sorts of things like Roman villas. It's amazing what you can get if you just really pay attention and have the right tools. You can make amazing discoveries. He's an archaeologist. Stephen Young, Mr. Darby, I don't know, what's his name? You don't know. That sounds like a place. Might be his name anyway, right? That his name, not important, because it's what he's found. He's found this sword, right? He's found this sword. I found a sword and there's a hand on the end of it, right? He found a sword in the hand. That's it. Very good looking dude. Well done, mate. His interest is metal detecting goes back to 1964. So he's been really there at the frickin' working through those quiet periods. And all of a sudden he bent down, picked something up, and it was a coin. Congratulations. Well, you'll need a couple of them. Don't spend it all in one shot. He was hooked on what they were showing him. This is the origin story. Anyway, we'll skip through the rest of it because, 1964 and whatnot. We've not actually got those decades and centuries. Unless we go back to that machine. Anyway, discovery in 2003, Anglo-Saxon warrior. Nice one. Further excavations. Oh, look, there they are, right? Here he is with his machine. Amazing little piece of kit that. It's white too. Looks particularly modern version. Ones I've seen recently. Far newer. Look crap. That's what it is with modern plastic nonsense, right? Black Friday's ruined everything. So here, he's found it with that machine, and I've actually got a photo right now of it being revealed. Check it out. This is the sword. Look at that, guys. Not bad. Congratulations. So those of you who like the memes, well, you'll like that. You'll be feast your eyes. And then anyway, back to the sword. Isn't that interesting? That live person written on the hilt. After all that time. What a fantastic, interesting bit of news. And that's all fantastic for everybody who likes the idea of speeding up time. And that, I'm sure, includes Ryan and everybody who believed that decades and centuries story was good. So look at this, right? We thought decades and centuries. We were thinking SPY, May 2026. You might see it up at around 716. And a 1618 extension. You're hovering just below that. It's the next move. You cross that gap. Prices will go mental, continuing this uptrend, which we predicted quite well in essence. These were the retracement areas we thought it would go to. There's the line, bunk on the nose. What was that nose? Well, not Jerome's nose. It was that stock markets after a recession tend to retrace 50%, recover that previous high, put in a higher low, and never return to that value again. I say they tend to do it. It's something that's always been true throughout the past 250 years. We've measured it and used it to make lots of money here on the markets.